So, I will start. This is my topic about belonging. As you can see, beyond belonging, what does that mean? My name is Jay. I come from Taiwan. It's a beautiful island with a very amazing mountain surrounded by the ocean. I believe that's why every time I go to the nature place, I always feel release, rest, and sometimes maybe I feel like home. And I think this is the feeling that's what I feel belong. Oh, I forgot to, it's not moving. Ooh. Okay. Now you can see where Taiwan is. It's here. Okay. So let's move on. What is beyond? The word beyond here means stepping outside of the limit. Outside of the limit of our perspective. From my perspective to your perspective to nature's perspective. And the nature here, I would say, it includes both living and non-living entities that are often we overlook as an active participant in our life or in our social, emotional, or relational framework. And about belonging is a concept already widely explored in the social and psychological disciplines, and it often linked with the identity, inclusion, and also the emotional well-being. And also this famous triangle, I think everyone already know, is from the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It already highlights the essential roles of the belonging as a human need. And let's take a look about the description in a dictionary. Belonging is a feeling of being happy or comfortable as a part of the particular group and having a good relationship with other members of the group because they welcome you and accept you. And let's focus on the keywords. It seems like the belonging is like myself, ourself, the relationship with other people. But how to this explain like my feeling in the forest? Like how to explain the belonging in the forest? So, what if you extend this definition, include a non-human being like this? Does it still hold? Here I want to share a story with you. Okay, one day I was walking in the Estonian forest and I made this huge stone. And it's like surrounded by the pine tree. It looks very mysterious. And the local told me like this stone is come from maybe Finland or maybe like a North country, moving by the glacier 10,000 years ago. And you know, like it's very sparked my curiosity because I also come from the far away, maybe not that long time ago, but I also come from distance. And you know what people always asking me? Why Estonia? And I have the same question. Why Estonia? Do you feel belongs to here, even you are from the far away? And actually, this moved me to the next page. If nature also seeking the sense of belonging. And what does that mean for the nature? In the human society, belonging is a key to unlock the best in everyone. If you feel a sense of belonging, it leads to flourishing in every environment and groups, big to small, from our home to our country. So I propose this hypothesis. It fosters a connection with nature, help build a sense of belonging. It may encourage humans to value nature more and share responsibility for our ecosystem. Therefore, the role of design here is reframing the belonging as a relationship and experience shared between the human and the nature. But the goal here is not speak for nature. What I want to do is build the space for listening and the mutual recognition. So following, I have these two research questions. First, how can design be employed as a method to explore the concept of belonging from the nature's perspective, how they see this belonging, how they feel this belonging. I want to know. And the second question is, how might we reimagine the concept of belonging to foster a shared sense of community among human and non-human? If we both need this belonging, can we co-create this belonging together? Is that possible? So to explore this question, I conduct a practice research. I call it 3-perspective approach. It played a central role through the process because it forced me to break my human mindset. And then I try to approach nature as a potential collaborator or participant. Here, inspired by the Graham Herman's object-oriented ontology, it's a philosophy that views all objects, like human, non-human, nature, culture, as the same equal significant. He calls it this, we are all the object. So I changed this first-person perspective into first object perspective, like this. And we have the 3 stages. First, I will use the filmmaking as a method to emphasize with a stone, stepping outside the human perspective. If I'm a stone, how I see this world. And the second study, I involved a collaborative exhibition with 3 artists from France, Taiwan, and Mexico. We create a mutual dialogue across the species. If we want to create a co-belonging, we need to understand each other first, how we communicate with each other. And the third study is the final study. I organize a 10-day workshop as a prototype. I invite humans and stones to join me to create a shared sense of community. Is that possible to create a community with a stone? Before I start my practice, I want to introduce my research partner. That's why this is the secret. Yes. Okay. This is the stone. It's my research partner. It's also my muse. It's also a reminder for me. It always reminds me, like, don't use your human mindset. Try to thinking as a stone. So this is the portrait of the stone. Okay, this is my first object perspective. I try to embody the object, like a stone. It's a story about a stone trying to look for where it come from, where it might come from. And inspired by the huge stone, like if you still remember, the one I met in the forest. So I go to the forest, the seaside, animate the stone. I found that how different the stone in the different area, from the seaside to the forest. And then I record everything, like what we see, what we saw, what we interact with, and then I make it into an empathy map. This is the empathy map, like which we usually use as a marketing to empathize our user, to understand their need. But in this case, it gave me a new way to thinking as a stone. So from the stone's perspective, belonging emerged from a continuous interaction with its environment. It's similar like us, like human. So I moved to the next stage. It's an exhibition. I call it, this time, my client is nature. So I try to understand the dialogue between the human and the nature. So I invite the 3 artists to join me. The artists act as a translator, seeking to understand the voice of their non-human client, whether their client may be a landscape, the beetles, flowers, or stones. In the exhibition, you can see the works include a monologue from the forest, a portrait of the beetles, explore the relationship between the beauty and the belonging. We also have the mockumentary about the invasive plants, questioning whether they can truly belong. They are traveled from Africa to Mexico. What is the belonging for them? And also we have the interaction wall, where I invite the visitor to asking question to a stone. And then also you can try to answer the question like a stone. So you will be surprised how many questions people want to ask the stone instead of asking ChatGPT. So from the artist interview and what I observed in the exhibition, I find out that participants communicate with nature in their unique way. Some people just walk into a forest. Some people actually just observe the specific things for a long while. Some people like to use the internet to understand the different species background. From this, I found that I found that the curiosity is the start point that drives us to activity connect with the nature, like what Carol said. So from this, I try to analyze the stage of the developing the connection with nature. First is curiosity, and then engagement, empathy, and we create a deeper connection. And then I take this stage and move to the next perspective. The third object perspective is try to establish the relationship with each other. The workshop name is, Can You Help Me Take Care of Them? I think it's already very curiosity for people. So it's a prototype that brings together the previous insight and explore whether co-belonging can be cultivated through these steps. It was a 10-day workshop. We, together with the stone, we go to the beach side. We walk around the eka and try to invite stone, and then invite 12 people to join us. So we have 12 stone and 12 human, and begin with an invitation letters, and sparking their curiosity, invite them to join the workshop. Then the participants got to know each other, means stone and the participant, and then drawing them, giving them nickname, and measuring them. These are very human-centered activity, I know, but I designed them intentionally to make it easier for the participant to join and try to build this relationship. And then over the next 10 days, participants engage in their daily interaction with their stone, recording their thoughts, feeling in their journal, as you can see. It's very creative. I give them some prompts. They also can create their interaction by themselves. And then you can see some people's feedback. For example, the stone is very quiet, but the stone asking more answer from me. Or they can feel the warmth, the same warmth like their temperature with the stone. And also some people, like me, they got the muse from the stone. And because she said the bond didn't have the critical eyes. Bond is the name of the stone. So after 10 days, we get together again and to share our experience in these 10 days. In the end, we walk together through the Karamaya, saying goodbye to each stone at its original place. You can also see there's a beer goodbye from the street side of the stone's place. And you know what? Some people don't want to let it go. They have their experience together, they have developed their bond. And some people asking, do I really need to return the stone? And of course, some feel like returning the stone was a kind of release, because you keep the stone is really have kind of responsibility. Quite heavy. But I also got a very, very beautiful feedback I want to share with you. I then realized that I was confusing a sense of belonging with a desire of possession. So I thought that returning it wouldn't erase the sense of belonging between us. And this is the picture. In the end, we will return the stone in the seaside. So overall, this workshop transformed an abstract question, belonging of a stone or of the nature, into a deeper symbolic experience, demonstrate how meaning can enhance the sense of belonging. It encouraged the participant to rethink what belonging means, both for themselves and for the nature. Through this practice, I found that belonging is not a fixed state. It's a gradual process. As you can see, each step and from the external to the internal. It's cultivated through the interaction, understanding, gradually forming the mutual relationship. I also discovered that developing shared a sense of belonging with nature increases people's sense of responsibility, empathy, and balanced relationship between them. Therefore, rather than offer a final solution, this design serves as a start point, a mindset shifting structure for exploring new ways of belonging. I turn my insight into a framework for building our core belonging, consists of the 4 stages I will explain in the video. And take staking stone as the metaphor. Thank you again, stone. Step by step, storing, building the relationship together. So now let's take a look at the video.
Recording date, May 20, 2025. To whomever finds this, future human, present listener, or someone else entirely. Dear human, if you have been feeling a bit out of place lately, if the forest seems too vast, the ocean too far, and the tree don't talk back anymore, that's okay. We don't have to start big. Let's begin with something small, something quiet. Let's begin with the stone. Dear stone, if the days have started to blur together, if life feels repetitive, if the wind passed by and no one seems to notice your stillness, don't worry. You don't need to row to be going somewhere. Let's begin with something small. They are fragile, yes, but surprisingly curious. Let's begin with caring for a human. Here is a guide for co-belonging. What is co-belonging? It's about noticing, listening, and building the little ritual between you. It unfolds, exploring, engaging, emphasizing, becoming. This is not a finished design. It's an invitation. Without your action, it's incomplete. Here, everyone is a co-creator. Human, stone, you. Recording time, 11:57 a.m. Belonging beyond belonging. To be continued.
So from a framework like this to the digital, like you can see it on the website, I ground this abstract idea in embodied practice. This design approach is called to move from the solving problem for others to shaping belonging with others. The framework is designed to accommodate different user types, such as individual, groups, and facilitators. It offered an accessible starting point for those interested in exploring the post-human empathy and the reframing design as a tool for interspecies connection. So this is the design to build a shared belonging for the human and nature. Yes, some participants, they really feel the relate with their partner stone. However, what about the feeling of the stone? And what about the feeling of the nature? In the end, I still can't find the answer. I can't answer for them. That's the thing that I still struggling, but I need to keep going because I'm just human. And another challenge through the process was the maintaining the balance. To reframe a relationship in between, they both my target group. I keep asking the question like, should I use the anthropomorphism as a meaning of connection? How can interaction be facilitated without upsetting the balance of the nature? And what if the people don't want to return the stone? Probably this uncertainty is the part of what makes the discursive design valuable. This experience reminds me that the value of the design lies not only solving the problems, but expanding the perspective from which we even begin to ask the question. So for me, promote the environment awareness is like a story of the north wind and the sun. If we want people to take off their coat, we don't become the wind. Instead, we become the sun. We want to take this coat by themselves. right? So the key lies in the motivation. And this is what the core value of the interaction design. So in this project, I see the human pursuit of belonging as a motivation to encourage more sustainable relationship with nature. Start from here. Before we can truly understand nature or truly understand the stone, this mindset offered us a new perspective and opportunity to build empathy with our environment. Thank you. I'm Jay.